school, primary, GHS, SHS, and even at the university. So I have some appreciation of what quality education means. I have some appreciation of what quantity education means. And I get the sense that the focus of this government is quantity and not quality. If you have quality education and you have even 10% of your population having access to quality education, it is a million times better than having 80% of your population having access to education, that is quantity education. Look, my kids are attending private school, and by Allah's will, I'm able to afford to pay for their fees, and we pay huge sums of money. It is just sad in our part of the world that the private schools are doing better than the public schools. That's right. And we'll get into some of this detail. But the question is not just about me. It's not just about you or about my brother. It's about majority of Ghanaians who do not have the blessings of Allah to be able to take care of their kids when they attend private schools. It will be suicidal if I think that because by Allah's will I can afford to pay for my kids' education at the private school, every Ghanaian should not have an excuse. I should be conscious repeatedly that there are majority of the people of this country who do not have the money. They would have loved their kids attend the private school so that they can have access to everything. Check very well. In most of the private schools, the teachers teaching there are not trained teachers.
That's correct.
You go to government schools or public schools, every teacher who teaches at public school is a trained teacher. Or about most teachers who teach at government schools, public schools are trained teachers.
Fact.
Now, the expectation is that a student who is taught by a trained teacher, who is trained for that purpose, should be able to perform or do well than a student who is taught by an untrained teacher. But why is it that private school students are doing better than the public schools? Because of not just the teaching, but the conditions that occasioned the proper teaching and learning to take place. So if you tell me, that's why some of us had problems with the free SHS, that it would have been a very good policy, but you needed to put in certain things in place before you can think of making it free. One, the quality of the teaching, and that's where it matters. But why is it that the quality of teaching, which is expected to be gotten from a trained teacher than the untrained teacher, why is it that it is not making the difference between the private schools and government schools? So it tells you that it is not only limited to the quality of teaching. It has to do with the side of the people. So teaching is a two-way traffic. The one who impacts the knowledge and the one who absorbs the knowledge. Unfortunately, our focus is on the impacting the knowledge, not the absorption of the knowledge.
So it's teaching and learning.
That's what it is, teaching and
teaching.
learning. And the condition under which the people or the student is taught is very significant. A student who is taught, this room, there's air condition. You don't have distractions. You don't hear noise. The only noise that you hear is when they want to play the music. You don't hear noise. There's no distractions. There is absolute concentration in a classroom where you don't have noise or distractions coming out somewhere. So there is that concentration. Concentration of the student is sine qua non to the absorption of that student. That is one. Two, the teaching and learning materials that would lead to the teacher indeed impacting the knowledge on the student, absolutely. Because the teacher needs those teaching and learning materials to be able to impact that knowledge to the people. So two, it's very, very significant. The teaching and learning materials, the materials that you use to teach the student. Three, whether the student is comfortable. And when I say comfortable, eat well. Because a student who sits in class in an empty stomach will be thinking of survival, will be thinking of food, rather than paying attention. So there are several factors. Now, if you have your basic school, that the most important ingredient, or one of the most important ingredients, that will ensure that teaching and learning takes place, that is the textbooks. The textbooks is one of the most important, if not the most important, ingredient that is needed for proper knowledge to be impacted in the people, are not available. 92.7. They are not available. They are not available not because there is no curricula. The institutions that manages our education, the Ghana Education Service, through the agencies and individuals, they have been able, and the teachers, they have been able to develop a curricula for teachings and learning to take place. Now, there are no textbooks. And the inability of the textbooks to be provided is not because the curricula is not available. It's because government doesn't have money. Or it's because government deliberately doesn't want to provide the money. Now, how can teaching and learning take place? There is another very important thing that people must get. Look, if a student is well taught in these prevailing acceptable conditions at the basics level, take that student and put him or her in the most deplorable Saito school, that student will still be a brilliant student. Simple logic. 92.7. If the foundation of a house is not good, the house cannot stand.
ABF Hussein.
So I tell people that my kids attend private school, JHS, SSS, they go to public schools and they do well. Because if you take them, they will do well because the foundation is good. Now, why is it that the foundation, the materials that are needed to make the foundation good are not available? You don't have iron rocks, you don't have cement, you just have mud. You do the foundation, then when you want to raise the building and put up another story, then you bring blocks. How can the mud, foundation support the blocks? So what we are telling the vice president is that it simply doesn't make sense that you cannot be thinking of providing tablets for students at the secondary school when you don't have basic ingredients, the materials that are needed to teach the students at the basic level. They are not there because you don't have the money. Yet government intend to spend millions of dollars that they are going to produce about 3 million. They spend over $1 million, millions of dollars to provide tablets for students at the secondary school when you need at least half of that money to provide teaching and learning materials for those at the basic level. It simply doesn't make sense. Another point. I was in Tamale at that time. I've been away from the media.
Right.
And I listened to the vice president who mocked His Excellency President Muhammad.
How did he do that?
That throughout President Muhammad's campaign, that he has failed to mention a single policy of his government should he be elected. You listen to him. And I was shocked. In fact, I was flabbergasted. And I said, does this man appreciate what a policy statement is? And I shudder to think that he was doing politics. He holds a PhD in economics. I have taught public policy at a university. A policy statement is a statement of intent. Look, TV3, or you call it media journal.
Right.
You decided to have a policy position. You were handling your program, Johnny's Bite, on TV.
Right.
But the policy decision, and some of us do know that it was influenced by pressure from the Flagstaff House.
Be calming down.
Your management will deny that, but that is a fact.
Be calming down.
I am saying that your management will deny that, but that is a fact.
Can we move
now,
on?
your management, they were pressurized by the Flagstaff House.
I don't know that.
To decide that they want to have a policy. I'm just, you may admit or you deny, and I know I don't expect you to admit. That policy position was that we're no longer going to host the Johnny's Bite live on TV. It should be done on 3 News.
3 FM.
3 FM. But you see,
it's still live on TV.
No, I'm coming. It is yielding some benefit now. Now, when it was done on TV, it was limited to those who watch TV and those who watch TV through online. Listeners to 3 FM, and by the way, your station is doing tremendously well.
Thank you.
Listeners to 3 FM. No, I'm an academic, so I need to talk of all sides of
the parliamentarians. They are building foundations.
Yes, you see, we have come to the same point. If the foundation is not strong, the building will not stand. Now, 3 News, those who listen to the news, are now having the benefit to listen to you directly, and the TV also. That's a policy position. Now, when I heard the vice president who claimed that President Muhammad should tell us one single policy statement, you realize President Muhammad didn't respond because it was absolutely ignoramus as to what constitutes a policy statement. And now, when I listened to him, I said, look, at the Ministry of Trade, for example, a ministry that by Alice Wheeler had the privileged opportunity to have been appointed as a deputy minister and a member of the manifesto, drafting of the NDC for trade and industries, I do know that President Muhammad, a lot of the statements he made when he was going around, bordered on policy positions. He said, look, what the NDC did, for which reason we reduce our dependence on rice importation in other countries, and for which reason in 2014 we reduced the importation of rice into this country by 40% and increased the production of rice by 60%. It was because of a policy decision we took, that to support local rice producers and ensure that we impose some taxes on imported rice, for which reason we had that reduction. And there was a correlation between the importation of rice and the production of local rice. There is one thing restricting the importation of rice, and there's another thing producing enough to feed the domestic market. President Muhammad said that thing was aborted. We are going to reintroduce that policy. That's a policy statement, a major policy statement. President Muhammad also said, look, there was a policy decision we took supporting pharmaceutical companies in this country, and a lot of them were given money. Millions of Ghana cedis was actually given to selected pharmaceutical companies. And the reason why those monies were given was that the WHO assessment indicated that Ghanaian pharmaceutical companies were very equipped. They produced medicines that met the WHO standard, but the only challenge they faced at the time was that they didn't have the capacity to produce, to feed even the domestic market, to even export. So President Muhammad saw the need to advance state money directly to them. And in fact, it yielded results. A lot of them, they expanded, created more jobs, and they produced enough to feed our domestic market. And some of them started even exporting some of their pharmaceutical products. And the state didn't only do that. The government then instructed the Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service to procure their medicines, basic medicines, from the Ghanaian pharmaceutical companies. That was a policy action that the NDC took. President Muhammad says that this thing has been aborted. We are going to reintroduce that. That's a major policy position. President Muhammad also said, look, we need to reduce our dependency on rice importation. By the time NDC left office, we were spending $450 to $500 million in the importation of rice and poultry products into this country. Within 6 years, this government took it from the $450 to $500 million to over $2 billion. Government's own statement. So these are three policy statements President Muhammad made. Now yet you have a vice president who holds a PhD in economics who says that President Muhammad hasn't made any policy statement throughout his campaign. And in fact, I can mention not less than 10 policy statements President Muhammad made as far as Ministry of Trade and Industries is concerned. And I can mention not less than 3 of all the sectors of our economy policy statement that President Muhammad made. So if you have a vice president who didn't even appreciate what a policy statement is, how can he be making such policy
But the vice president is the forerunner in the upcoming primaries for the NPP. There's a proverb in the Gbani. In fact, this is a popular proverb. I see it to be an African proverb. That in the village of the blind, the one-eyed man is the king. I don't understand.
In the team of very incompetent individuals, from the presidency to the down, they celebrate the vice president. It would be the height of mediocre to celebrate this vice president.
But that's not fair to him.
Why is it unfair?
That's not fair.
He is the chairman of the economic management team. We have a disaster at hand. The city lost its value in an unprecedented level today. The dollar is changed, in fact, this morning, 11.7. You remember it reduced with the IMF. It started rising. I pray that it reduces. How did they take it? Unemployment, they took it from the NDC 6.8% to 17.4%. Debt to GDP, they lampoon, and he in particular, when he had the privileged opportunity and the auditorium of the Central University was made available to him, every week or every month you go there and mock President Muhammad. When debt to GDP was just a little over 60%, today 104%. His wife described him as economic whiskey. The other day I said he's now economic poyoyo. Because
AY Poyoyo is not happy with you.
I'm a fan of AY Poyoyo. When that thing happened, he himself said he had no problem at all with my statement. Because the kind of music he sings. And I share his videos. Than any politician, I don't think there's any politician in Ghana who shared AY Poyoyo's videos.
No.
And I don't think there's any politician in Ghana who says that he's a fan. And when I say I'm a fan, I genuinely am a fan.
But he doesn't want to be associated.
No, he said, and I remember his His Madam issued a statement. You know when I made that statement, my good friend said, look, there is nothing wrong with
the statement made.
There is nothing wrong with the statement. And I made this statement genuinely. The kind of music is they describe as this satiric music. Is his music satire good. His music is to generate fun. You know, and I'm saying that he said he described the husband as economic whisket. Whisket, of course, is known globally than AY Poyo. We pray that one day he's also known. And I say he has become economic Poyo.
But he doesn't want to be associated with the vice president.
It is not about him. It is about my statement.
Okay, all right.
Except that he says that he doesn't want me to be his fan.
No,
I'm a strong fan. I am saying that. Where is the wife? She described the husband as economic whisket. To what end? So I'm saying that in the village of the blind, the one-eyed man is the king. But all these things that President Muhammad did, for you to make a policy statement, which I have already described as a statement of intent, but that statement of intent should be anchored on feasibility. It should be anchored on reality. It should be something that is geared towards achieving a result. Now, why would you? I listened to a gentleman on the program this morning.
Kinsley Amakwa,
who is doing very well. I think it's a civil society organization, right, an NGO on education. He himself said, look, there are textbooks available.
That's
Kofi Asare.
Right.
There are textbooks available at the second cycle at the secondary schools. So why, and then the basic schools, they don't have the textbooks because there is no money. Why would you be spending money to procure laptops for a section or a sector of our education who already have textbooks, yet denying another sector of our education, the basic level, who do not have the textbooks? Now, if you tell me that it isn't that government doesn't have money, then it is wickedness that is making government refusing to provide those textbooks for the basic level. That is the gravitas of our argument. Argument is that be very responsible. It is not just a policy statement. That policy statement should be intended achieving a positive result. And that positive result is that get the foundation right. If you get the foundation right, you wouldn't have much problem at the secondary school level. You don't spend millions of dollars to provide laptops when at the basic level you don't have even textbooks. Another very important point. These are gadgets. Granted that they work perfectly. Electronics do not work perfectly. They may not be using internet, but sometimes they freeze. You can take your phone and sometimes your phone freezes.
Right.
You find it difficult to use. So a student who comes to school and the tablet freezes, such a student, how is he going to learn? That day, learning will be zero because the vice president says that they are replacing the textbooks. He didn't say they are going to complement the existing textbook, that they are replacing them. And he said they will do that by the close of this year.
Well, that promise was made in 2017 as well by Honorable Esla Osu Kufu.
No, but Honorable Esla Osu is Esla Osu. I'm talking about the vice president who manages my taxes.
Well,
so he has made this promise
that by the end of the year.
Yes, he said by the end of the year.
Submitting to you that this was also made in 2017.
But
if we have not achieved it, why are we hoping for it in 2023?
You see, the NPP is conditioned into believing that Ghanaians are a bunch of idiots. They are conditioned into believing.
Come on.
No, I'm telling you. But we are smarter than them. Look, sometimes they make certain statements as if we are just idiots. But we are smarter. You make a promise 1D1F. What is it? The 1D1F should yield to a particular result.
There are over 150 factories according to the vice president.
How many jobs have we created? When you industrialize, you are expected to grow the economy. And when the economy grows, jobs are supposed to be created. How can you tell me that 1D1F is achieving the purpose for which it was established when unemployment increased from 6.8 to 17.4? Youth unemployment is about 12.7. So if you tell me that 1D1F is actually achieving the objective for which it was set, then unemployment should be reducing. The economy should be growing. So it means that it is not achieving the intended purpose. Look, it will be a very good policy intervention. However, how is it implemented? Haphazardly implemented. One, if you also tell me that you think that Ghanaians, if you do not think that Ghanaians were a bunch of idiots as the MPP wants us to believe, one village, one dam, where is it? One constituency, $1 million. In the eyes of all this, they are still making promises. And all those promises were made by the vice president. So why would you make such promises who you are not fulfilling, yet you keep on making promises as if we are a bunch of idiots? Look, Ghanaians are smarter than this group of moribunds who have the opportunity to govern this country, and what they do is to mess up the economy. Look, tell me, you people, I don't know whether your salaries have been increased at Media Journal, but assuming that your salary haven't been increased, the monies you were taking last year, can it do half of the things you would want to do this year? No. The adverts you are getting, do you get those adverts again? No. You don't get them, or you still get?
You get.
Oh, then TV3, if you get the adverts, then that's good. Wow.
Why would you want
to? Oh, then you should be. Oh, look, I don't know the position you hold here.
Please leave us out of
If he's now saying that, you just admitted that you get, then they must increase your salary.
Please leave us out of this. We beg you.
No, because you see, inflation was about 54%. It is now 40-something percent.
41.2.
So if the vice president was managing the economy very well, why is it that all these indicators, everybody is struggling in this country? The only people who are not struggling are those who live within the four walls of the Flagstaff House. The only motivation the vice president is making this statement is that he wants to get money to prosecute his campaign, so that they can give that contract to somebody, so that they can have their cut. The laptops which they promised teachers of this country, we were all made to understand that the state was buying the laptops for them.
But they paid. The teachers
Do you know they have deducted the monies from the teachers' laptop salaries? Some of them haven't still gotten their laptops. And those who have gotten their laptops, some of them, the laptops did not last for three months.
Yeah.
They are completely down. And somebody sent me a text message. I mean, if I get the text message, I'll read to you. How on earth and where did they get those laptops? 3 months. If I were the teachers, we would start suing this government for defrauding us. So once again, it is an attempt to defraud the people of this country. And unfortunately, the person who is being asked to do that is no less a person than my senior brother, Wala Adam Smith. And in fact, someone sent me a text message. I know the vice president constituency very well.
Right.
He's from the Northeast. Someone sent me a text message that a lot of communities in his region, not far from his hometown, do not have lights.
They don't have light.
They don't have lights. So these laptops, these tablets, you'll be charging them. We know in this country and in those communities, someone has this tablet, the tablets are around and the battery is down. Now he doesn't have lights in his community. How is he going to charge it? So it means that if the tablets are not charged, teaching and learning cannot take place, because the vice president didn't say he's going to complement the existing textbooks, that they are going to replace the textbooks with the tablets.
Right.
Let's watch and see whether in the mid-year budget this particular thing is going to be captured in the mid-year budget. Because as far as I'm concerned, it was not found in the 2023 budget. And the vice president is not going to conjure the money somewhere. Running a government is not like my grandmother selling porridge on the street of Zhang. Running a government is about demanding that these are the things I want to do. These are the projections, the monies I want to spend on it. This is where we are going to get the money. You bring it to Parliament. Parliament will look at it, debate it, and approve it or otherwise. It was not in the 2023 budget. So if it is going to be found, then it is going to be found in the 2024 budget going forward, or the mid-year budget. Let's wait and see whether we would have such a thing in the mid-year budget. Until such a time, this is the most useless statement that I've ever heard coming from a vice president who should know that we need to fix the problems at the basic level before we think of giving tablets to the secondary schools. And I've heard someone who says that we are moving forward. Ghana, we should
yes, we're moving forward.
We should be moving forward.
Yes.
Even in the most advanced countries, they still have textbooks. In the most advanced countries, you think that they don't appreciate the use of such tablets than us? Why is it that they still have textbooks? And as a teacher and as a psychology student, if you do psychology, you would understand why it is necessary to have textbooks. And I can give the vice president free tutorials as a senior brother without taking a dime.
On what?
I hold a first degree in psychology.
Okay, so you...
Yes, and I will tell him why it is important to use textbooks and why even in the most advanced countries, people still use textbooks.
Are you not being too hard on the vice president?
Why? He manages my taxes. He manages my money and your money. So he owes me a duty and a responsibility when he's going to speak.
You think he has failed?
Oh, if you say the vice president has failed, then it's an understatement. In fact, he's a walking failure.
He is?
Yeah.
A walking failure?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Look, I remember there was a time I said he's an apology of a vice president, and he wasn't happy. Many people within the NPP were not. I think that they are deliberately doing that to him within the NPP. I don't know those who write his speeches, and I don't know the kind of thinking that goes into the speeches they write to him, because there are statements he ought to know. That when I make this statement, what will be the consequences? What will be the reaction of the Ghanaian people? Yet, he goes ahead to make those statements. You cannot have these student challenges at the basic level when you are telling us that you want to provide laptops to every Ghanaian. Very soon, the vice president will say a Benz car to every couple in this country.
Hold on for me. Let's go on to the phone line and speak with Mr. Thomas Musa. He is the General Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Teachers. Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, good morning. And good morning to your listeners too.
Great. One student, one laptop. I'm sure that you heard about it. How does the Association of Teachers feel about it?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think normally things like this will have about 3 levels of it. The first one is the announcement, like the Vice President has said. People are giving various renditions, their opinions, and all the things about it. When things happen like this, the second level is the ministerial level, where you will have the intention is to really get it done. You have the policy of it. The other one is to go into the budget and all that. As it stands now, it's only an announcement that has been made, and like you are all aware, this is not the first time that such an announcement is being made. We have once upon a time been invited to the same menu. We discussed, I think this should be about a third time or so. So, since this is not the first time and we've been here before, I think this should be about the third time that we'll be here. So for me, I think that we all need to hold our breath and then, look at it and see how best we take it out. Because once the Vice President has made it, and we've been here more than once, and I think it's about a deadline, like I indicated. The next thing is that if it is something that really they want to do, I think it will go to the ministerial level, and that is where we will get the details of it, and we can interrogate the issues, and then make our comments, and whatever the pros and cons of it can be looked at. But at this particular stage, see the difficulty with such announcement is that when somebody makes an announcement like this, like His Excellency has done, anything you say now, somebody can come and say, oh, that is not what we mean. We did not mean this one. We did not mean this one. Because the announcement lacks details. And so that is where we are now.
Mr. Thomas Musa, are you suggesting to me that as a teacher union, an association of teachers all over the country, such a major stakeholder, you were not consulted before this announcement was made?
No. About giving the teachers laptops.
No, I'm saying that the children who are the learners which you supervise, they're going to be provided with laptops according to Dr. Bawumia. Are you suggesting that there was no conversation with you before that announcement was made by the Vice President?
You see, what I can say regarding this is that, if you look at the broad education strategic plan, okay, from 2018 to 2030, if you look at that particular plan, it's in it. But like I have said, they will normally not come and tell you that, look, this is what we want to do. And if you remember, there have been several locations where when there are issues, we come out there to come and express our concerns and all that. But with this particular one, like I have said, since it is something that is there and they have come, we are waiting for the details, then we can interrogate the issues. But some of these things, you have it in the Education Strategic Plan 2018 to 2030 as part of the Sustainable Development Goal 4, which is leave no one behind. It is some of the things they have about, like I said, normally before you get it done, you take it up or you isolate it and you get it done. And they normally discuss these things within the context of digitization. But to come and sit down with the teacher unions or teachers that we are going to provide students with laptops, that one I cannot confirm on that, but I can say that it is in the Education Strategic Plan about the digitization, moving away from the hard copies of documents and all that. If you recall, during the COVID time, the Ghana Education Service, together with the Ministry of Education, initiated a process called blended learning or blended teaching and learning. Pendulums and other entities were brought on board. So it was during that particular time all those things came up. And I remember we even did a publication. It is one of the issues that led that the teachers should be provided with laptops and all that, and which we are working on to have it addressed. So these are things that came and particularly received attention during the COVID time in 2020. So like I have said, it is a conversation that is in the Education Strategic Plan, and it gained currency during the COVID time, where they were thinking about blended teaching and learning, so that regardless of where you are, whether you are in an underserved area and all that, you see how best all the people there could get certain amount of education. And the most important thing is that, look, the details of this particular announcement is important for everybody, because people want to know where is the funding coming from, how are we getting it done, what are the timelines among all those things. All those things are not embedded in the document. And to the extent that it is just an announcement has been made and we don't have the details, how do we interrogate it? So when we get the details, it will help all of us.
So you're waiting for the details in the document to interrogate?
No. You see, like I have said, it is important to place on record that, number one, we have been here before. You can check.
Yeah, I remember in 2017, a similar promise was made of tablets to children, right?
Yes, look, you go and check the 2017 budget and all that. Look, teachers were promised that houses will be built. Aside that, I remember at Asin, when the KG block fell on that particular teacher, fell on the student KG teacher.
Six of them, right?
A promise was made that the 1,171 KG blocks will be built. And I think if you look at the 2019 budget, you were told that only 90 was built and that the rest will be completed. We have not seen that. All that I'm saying is that we've been here before. This is our third time. And it's when it comes up like the same old conversation comes up. So next time, I think that when such things come before us, look, we need to revisit all the old conversation we have had. And in order to spend our time judiciously, let the details come. When the details come, we all look at it, because it will not start with spending, because it will start with policy. There should be detailed documents that go with details. There should be details that go with it. Then we interrogate it. As it stands, whatever you say, somebody can come and tell you, you got it wrong. You got it wrong. You got it wrong. It is because you don't have anything before you. The person speaking here, he knows what he's talking about. But like we are saying, once everybody is talking, I think it is a good way. It is a good thing for us to be commenting on it. And I think the duty bearers will have to provide detailed information about it, giving all the issues that surround from KG, primary, JHS, and SHS. Give us the details of it, and the issues will be interrogated, and we take it out from there, so that what happened during the first and the second promise, the same will not be repeated. That's what I'm saying.
And in wrapping up this conversation, the question of textbooks not being available in the schools, and now a promise of laptops is being made to the students. As a teacher and a leader of teachers, how does that, answer the conundrum of textbooks having not been available over the long period of changing our curriculum and everything else, the syllabus and everything else?
You see, this brings me back to the issue I was talking about. You see, what we normally do is that we all raise an issue, and you see, I'm sure by the close of this week, we will file all the things we are discussing and go and put it on the shelf. Then we say business as usual. Then we will continue. Now, that is what is happening now. We started this particular conversation not today. We have spoken about the issue of capitation grants. We've spoken about the issue of textbooks. We've spoken about all those things. I think this is not the first time we are talking about those things. Statements have been issued on it about how basic education, the expenditure there, leave no one behind, among other related matters. And so, if things come, when the issues come up like this, then we come again and we set tables and we begin to discuss this particular menu. Then by the close of this particular week, we close all the docket and shelve it. That is where I have a challenge. You see, the media should help us here. When we keep such conversations alive, and they are always in the public domain, it will be difficult for the duty bearers to say that they will not respond. Look, if you take KG, the challenges there, what don't we know about it? If we go to the primary, the challenges there, what is it that we don't know?
Okay.
But the issue, the challenge is the advocacy, the consistency, and the tenacity, and the persistence. Okay, to duty bearers, for them to rise to the occasion, particularly regarding Articles 25 and Articles 25 and 38, it is key. You people are in the media. Once I have spoken, I am done. The rest will be with you. For the question is, how do we sustain it? Now, it is not about once and it is not about twice. It is being there until the thing is delivered. Because I have said that, look, children cannot go on demonstration. Children cannot go press conference. Children cannot go and say they want to do, but because they are children, they are heavily dependent on we the adults. So that is why it is not for nothing that in the Children's Act it is provided that in all matters that involve the interest of the child, the interest of the child shall be paramount. It is because we the adults have that responsibility to ensure that the interests of the children are protected. So please, regarding this particular one, like I have said, we need a concerted effort. We should not make, when there is announcement of things like this, then we all come again as usual. We talk. Then when this is done, today is Tuesday. So by Friday, we'll close the docket and put it down. Business as usual. Then it is better. It is like, what are we going to achieve at the end of the day? People will be left behind, as indicated in education, sustainable development goal, for which says that leave no one behind. The only way we cannot leave anybody behind is consistency, consistent vigilance, checking on each and every child. Are you in school? Are you not in school? Then we make progress. So for me, it is a consistency, and it is not once in a blue moon. When, if assuming this statement were not in, are we going to have such conversation?
Well,
I am asking.
Mr. Musa, the teachers also haven't spoken about it, have you?
No, that is what I'm saying. You see?
So you engineer the conversations and then the media will blow it up. If you don't engineer the conversation, what can we do?
My brother, I have gotten you, but what I'm saying is, you see, one issue, for example, with this particular thing like this, you give yourself by Friday, it will be over. Another story might come up, and all these stories will be over. From Monday onward, you see another thing will then come again, and we'll be dealing with it. You see, once an issue is raised, the duty bearer is supposed to call upon to come and respond to those things. Okay, and when the duty bearer realizes that, look, duty is placed upon you to actually provide service, to actually save thousands and millions of our children, if for nothing at all. We are told that in Ghana, 880,000 children are born every year. So it means that we owe them a duty of care. That is all that I'm saying. I am saying that we are not. You see, I cannot always come and sit on the, because you, the radio cry, say, I heard that. Some of the things when we say them, you check the story headline. Check. I have been following the media landscape. Certain stories, story where they are can't story where they are can't story where they are can't story where they are can't. So you determine what is story. The media determines what is story. So when I say something and the thing is something like this thing has been in the public domain, I cannot go and carry it.
Okay. Zamusa, finally, it does appear to me that there's some level of mistrust in the achievement of this one student, one laptop policy. Is there?
I cannot say that for now. Like I have told you, I cannot say there is a, you see,
but there have been 3 promises already. This will make the 4th. So if it's not consistently done, there's mistrust, is there not?
No, I'm coming. You see, so for example, if this is about the 10th time that the promise being made that the students will be provided with laptops, like whether it is an iPad or whatever it is, I'm saying that we've been here before. So let us wait and interrogate the issues. When you ask the duty bearer might give you thousands of reasons why they were not able to get it done. I will not be far-fetched and I will not be mistaken if the issue of COVID and the issue of Ukraine-Russia war and all those things are cited. COVID and those things are cited. And that is why I am saying that it requires all of us. Okay? Look, let me give you one example in the budget. Quickly, good. A child lost his life at a scene. A KG block fell upon him. And in 2017, in that budget, we made a promise that 1,171 KG blocks be built within a period of 4 years. In 2019, the budget was silent on it. It was in 2019 that the budget indicated that 90 kg blocks have been completed and 150 be completed. As we are talking about now, how many kg blocks have been completed? Have we followed it up? Normally, when you raise these things up, it doesn't gain that kind of media attention. It doesn't. I don't know if because of the profile of the people involved or there are specific people who will speak and then the media will take it up, then we will be invited to come in. Why is it that when we also speak, you don't give us that same prominence? But
Mr. Musa, we give you prominence. We are our friend, though.
Yes. No, today let me also talk.
Okay, feel free.
Because you see, it is important so that when matters of education, when the matters are coming up and we are raising, give them the same prominence, because it is the consistency that these things can be delivered. If we don't do that, we all have challenges on our hands. So we have been here before. Let's get the details and we'll take it up.
You see, I like your passion with which you're burning. And for example, one teacher, one laptop. This matter directly affects you. Monies have been taken from teachers. The laptops have not been given to them. You, the teacher unions, are not speaking about it. What else can the media do to support?
No, that one, the distribution is ongoing, and I think that not everybody has received. And we are working. In fact, there is around. We will be getting back, but there is some work that is being done on it. We gave timelines, and we will revert.
I hear you, Mr. Musa. Have a nice day.
God bless you.
You're a fine man. Thank you so much. Murtala, we are wrapping up. If I give you 1 minute, you heard the teacher unions. They have not been contacted. Yeah. The promise was made. They are waiting for the full details, just like all of us. But this is going to directly affect their work, and yet they don't have the detail.
I think that makes the case even worse. In policy making, there's always a bottom-up or top-down approach, and public policy experts have all been unanimous that the challenges confronting us are because our policies are often top-down. I mean, regardless the problems that we have raised, or I have raised on this program, I least expected that they would have done this without consulting the teacher unions. These are the implementers of the policy. These are people who are going to be executing what government wants to, yet they were not consulted. You see, when I said that this government is conditioned into thinking that Ghanaians are a bunch of idiots, I think that this explanation given is a proof to that statement I made. They can do anything they want at any time without any regard to the people of this country. For me, I think that there is nothing more to add on this. The only thing I can say is that the vice president, I am very convinced, is doing that to get some resources to run his campaign. Look, let's get something very clear. I have listened.
How would the resources come to? He's not the one going to procure the things.
I've listened to Alan's people who are desperately trying to insulate Alan Chirmantin from the mess that is created. He is a member of the economic management team. And when the vice president was mentioning the names, he mentioned his name. So, Honorable Alan Chirmantin and the vice
Professor
president.
Professor Jambafo.
Honorable Alan Chirmantin, Keno Furiata, in that funny way. In this country, when you speak English, funny way, that's how the man's voice is. In this country, when you speak English in a funny way, people, unfortunately, or some people listen to you. So, the challenges confronting us, to be very honest, as Albert Einstein said, can never be solved with the thinking we had when we created them. Education is very important. The growth, the development of any country is anchored on education, quality education. So I think that this man should think again. Frankly, sometimes I find it very difficult.
That he will get some money for campaign from it. He's not the one going to procure, is he?
Please. The laptops for teachers. When they made the announcement, the impression was created as if government was procuring the laptops for teachers. Little did we know that the teachers were going to be forced to pay for the laptops from their money. And laptops, some of them, the laptops didn't last for 3 months. This is robbery. And I think that the teacher unions, if I were them, we would have indeed,
Thomas Osa said they have given timelines and that they will get back to it.
On the laptops.
Yes.
Sometimes they should be very careful. I am concerned about this because I'm a teacher myself. And I know how my colleagues feel. I know the kind of conversations we have. I'm a Ghanaian teacher. I believe one of the least paid. Yet they are expected to deliver so much. Yet the salaries are not good. And with this meager salary they take, a very wicked government would then come and demand that they buy it by force. I thought that it should have been optional. Any teacher who wants to purchase the laptop, you purchase. If you do not want to purchase it, you don't purchase. So assuming a teacher who had laptop already, such a teacher was made to buy this one by force.
Okay.
Whether he likes it or not.
Murtala, thank you very much indeed.
I appreciate
Honorable Murtala Muhammed.
Comrade.
You like comrade and not honorable. But when the other paper is issued in Parliament, there's...
I remember in the Chief Parliament, I rose on the floor and I told, then Right Honorable Do Ajeho.
Right.
And I said I insisted I should be described as
comrade.
He said no, I'm a comrade myself, but in this house, everybody is addressed as honorable. I just think that there are some people, they are so dishonorable that I don't feel any pride in being associated with such title. And if you want me to mention names, I can mention names of those MPs.
Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to?
Yes, why not?
So that you get headlines.
MP for Tamale Central, former Deputy Trade Minister, 41 minutes here after 9 on 3FM 92.7. We're wrapping up at 10. Make way for Black Rasta, the king of Kuchoko music. In the meantime, later tonight, get ready for this.
Are you stressed from a hard day's work? Looking to de-stress and relax over soothing music and soft chats? Then join me on Wind Down.
We simplify the conversations, we break down the jargons and technicalities. We keep you well informed throughout the week. Start your day with us.
Knowledge is power. We put you in the know of the happenings in Ghana and the world over. The main reason why you need to start your day with us.
We give the leaders the mandate to govern our affairs. We have a responsibility to hold them to account. It begins here. Start your day with us. Good morning, Ghana, Africa, and the rest of the wonderful world. Welcome to Sunrise on 3FM 92.7.
Start your day well informed. Start with us on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Catch the all-new Sunrise Morning Show with me, Johnny Hughes, Helena Piampofo, William Asiedu,
and Noble Crosbyan.
Weekdays from 5:55 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on 3FM 92.7. Your urban lifestyle radio.
You are a major stakeholder in nation building. Your voice matters.
The bad nature of our roads. Last Friday, we hosted them here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Our eyes and ears and boots on the ground is the man Joseph Gold Armstrong Alogbe. He's joining us now on phone. Joe, good morning. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, good morning, Johnny.
What can you share with us from Teshi?
Well, it's a heated demonstration here at Teshi. That started somewhere around 6 a.m. till now. They started from a job, man. And currently, as I speak to you, they're on the Teshi Highway, just past Teshi Mobile, heading towards the Municipal Assembly. There at the Ledekuku. And Johnny, if I may say, this demonstration, the people are not happy about the bad nature of the roads in this municipality. If you know this enclave, or you may recall that right from, let's say, the Lekman area, before the Lekman road was done, that place is a clear example of how the bad roads in this area looks like until government fixed that road ahead of the election 2020. And after that road, they've not made any attempt to fix any other of the roads within this municipality. And this resident says that is a very bad thing for them, and for them, they want the government through the assembly to fix their road for them. If not, they are going to continue this series of demonstration from time to time, Johnny.
This Teshi Link Road, I remember that under the watch of Dr. Bernard Okoboy, who's now the boss of NHIA, it was done to a very large extent. Has it gone bad?
The Teshi roads with the
one that connects all the way to Spintex Road. That's the Link Road.
That right. Hasn't fixed. That one is not bad. That hasn't fixed. We are talking about the other smaller link roads within the township itself. And every other road aside the main link road you mentioned is not in a good shape. Any other roads aside the link road, and then also the highway that leads from the military training camp all the way to Nongwa, that hasn't fixed. Any other road from the Teshi Junction area into all the smaller townships, every road here is very bad. And it's not just the bad roads, but also when it rains, the flooding that hits the community because of the lack of drains in this area is another headache of the people. And yesterday, the MC decided to see how he can call off the demonstration. Unfortunately, normally the assemblies use the courts to put injunction on such demonstration, but because court was not sitting yesterday, it made it impossible for the assembly to place an injunction on the demonstration. Hence, what we are seeing today, the numbers Johnny used is as if the entire Ledukuku residents are out on the streets. You can see both old, young, and the very old. What I mean by very old, you see very elderly women who are carrying placards and calling on government to at least consider Teshi also as one or another community within the Ghanaian society. All they are calling for is, are we not part of fellow Ghanaians,
right,
Mr. President?
I see.
And
now, who are the notable faces you have seen? Last Friday, I hosted the musician Klala, Metal Nunu, who is the convener, also Mr. Chosa Hammond, and the rest. Do you see notable faces there, politicians? Who do you see?
Johnny Hughes, this demonstration is the first demonstration I'm seeing. I'm not seeing any politicians around. I can see almost all the assembly members of this area. This all the assemblies put themselves together to organize the demonstration. The MP is not here. I've not seen any well-known face so far yet, but what I can tell is that the entire Teshi Township are out on the street demonstrating. And I'm sure the MP and the other notable faces are not here simply because the residents don't want to involve themselves to take a political twist and make it look like it is being organized by an NDC party or a CPP or PNC party. So every single person I can see on the street today is a pure resident that is angry and not too happy with the way and manner they have to drive to photos to get to their various homes, Johnny.
How long do they intend to demonstrate?
Today they say is the first day they are going to demonstrate. If they don't see anything reasonable, the next demonstration will lead them to the Flagstaff House, which is going to be very soon. So currently they are heading towards the assembly to present a petition to the MCE, which after which we will know what their next line of action will be, whether they are going to demonstrate next week again if the MCE or the assembly does not do anything quick. We'll be able to tell their next line of action when we get to the assembly and they hand over the petition to the MCE, Johnny.
Armstrong, I thank you very much for your time this morning, and I will come back to you for some more updates later in the day. That's Joseph Gold Armstrong, Alogwe, 48 minutes after 9 here on 3FM 92.7. There's been an accident on the Cape Coast Road. We'll try and connect with the Ghana National Fire Service to get a sense of what exactly happened, how many injured people, whether the situation was brought under control, and all the matters in between. William, the Teshi people, they were here on Friday. Looks like they are not taking the things lying down.
No, but I've always made the point that as a country we have to look at infrastructure, because if we are building hospitals and we don't have electricity, we don't have water supply, and our roads are bad, I don't think those hospitals can run efficiently. A lot of MPs would tell you, many of them would tell you that all their constituents are asking them to push for our roads, because moving from one point to another in the city especially is becoming very, very difficult. Every morning people have to wake up early just because of bad roads, and it's even telling on the health of the people. These days we have all kinds of diseases, non-communicable diseases, pressure, people don't have enough sleep just because they have to wake up early to beat traffic. So if you are talking about infrastructure, the road networks must be fixed. And Teshi is
it's a central part of town.
There's no way we can live in a country where the city, after so many years, our roads, we are still driving on dirt road. And it is sad that when somebody stands for political office and the person wins, immediately he moves away from those areas into areas where we may describe as decent in terms of infrastructure. That cannot be left to
win power and leave the people there.
Yeah, that's what happens. So they don't, and the kind of cars they will drive. Sometimes you stand by the road for a long time before one vehicle will come, just because the road is bad. And this bad road issue is not an issue anymore, because it is over. I don't even know what word to use. The government promised one district $1 million, one constituency, $1 million. If we had that money, we could have done something to our roads. And these are very not long. Sometimes 3 kilometers, 4 kilometers, and just I don't know what else to say about this road.
Let's leave Teshi and go to Cape Coast. On that main Cape Coast road, we speak to Division Officer Abdul Wasiu Hudu. He's a Central Regional Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service, joining us now. Good morning, sir, and thank you for your time.
Good morning.
We understand that there's been an accident. Tell us where the accident happened and the other details, who was involved in the accident and all of that.
Yes, we had a distress call around 40 minutes past 5, reporting an accident at Gomao Treku on the Winneba Accra Highway. So our men were quickly dispatched to the scene, and when they got there, they realized that U-turn bus with registration number GR 5866L that was traveling towards Bujumbura had involved in an accident with a tanker, fuel tanker number WR 2063-10. That was also moving towards Apam, that is in the opposite direction. Actually, for now, we don't know the cause of the accident, and the police are investigating it. But what happened is that our men got there. Some of the victims were already taken to hospital, but we met a lot of people who were trapped in the vehicle, and were able to rescue them. And the Ghana ambulance service were also there to assist. So the injured were handed over to the Ghana ambulance service, and those who be confirmed dead were also handed over to the Ghana police service. So in all, it was 15 people initially who were confirmed dead at the scene. But the last person to be rescued was the mate of the fuel tanker, who after rescue was also confirmed dead, so making the number 16. So they were, the injured were taken to Guniba Trauma Hospital, and those who we lost to were handed over to the Ghana Police Service, who also transported them to the Guniba Trauma Hospital morgue. And apart from even the accident, you know, it involved a fuel tanker. Mm-hmm. So there was also a concern of the safety of the scene, because it can also lead to a possible fire outbreak or explosion. Mm-hmm. So our men had to take all the safety precautions. They had to bring a fire tender which was purposely to protect and defend the place for them to do their work. So they put in all the safety measures for the rescuers to do their work. So for now, the rescue mission is over, and the bag has been towed to the Guniba police station. Whilst we are still on the scene, the place is now open up to traffic, but we are waiting for the towing car to return and convey the tanker to a safer ground, so that we can now move back to our office.
I see. And in wrapping up this conversation, obviously we do not know what caused the accident, but there have been questions raised about the lighting or illumination on that road markings and all of that. Is that a concern for you as well as a service?
Yes. General road safety issues are of much concern to us, because most of the times all these accidents are as a result of one or two of this. And at the time it also occurred was quite dark. So in that area too, there is no light. I don't know, is it because it's a highway, so there is no much light there. And the road markings, as you said, are not also very visible. Some of them are fading off. So they could be a reason for the accident, but we are still hoping on the Ghana Police Service to look into the matter, and we all know what happened.
I thank you very much, D.O. Wasiu Hudu, for your time this morning. We're grateful.
You're most welcome.
Great. That's the Central Regional PRO of the Ghana National Fire Service. Let's hear from you. 0592928795 and 0208227290. Plenty issues. One student, one laptop promise. We have also spoken about accidents here and there. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Ben Kwame.
Yes, sir. Quickly for me.
One laptop, one student is a scam.
Oh.
I'm saying, oh, no, why? Oh.
Go.
Allow me to flow.
You make your
flow
point.
For the past 3 hours.
Make your point.
10 seconds, we want to interject.
Make your point.
I'm saying it's a scam, because we're here in this country. Compare the teacher ratio to students. Teachers were promised one laptop, one per teacher. At the end of the day, we found out that they would deduct from their salary. Up to now, some of them haven't got it. Those that are added to in 3 months, it got worse. Is it not a scam? Bye.
Bye. Good morning.
Wa
alaikum salam wa barakatuh. Kosami, talk to me.
Thank you. God bless you.
Yes, sir.
One student, one laptop.
Yes.
Johnny, where is the electronic market? The electronic market. I Has it been provided?
I don't know.
And now one student, one laptop. Some money was paid on this electronic market. And up to date, we've not seen that market. We are buying market for our children. And today, we are promised one student, one laptop. And I'm not surprised.
Okay.
You talk about the basic. Those are the basic. Do they have vote? Do they vote? But the students at the secondary level, the level they are those that they can get their vote. So they are targeting them. Have a blessed morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Wa alaikum salam, Fatah. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Great.
Oh, Charlie. Sometimes you deny us to also call on the distance.
You have just called.
No, not today. Some days ago.
Make your point.
Yo. Johnny. So you see where we are, where we brought ourselves to. I think, Daniel, we need to blame ourselves, Ankasa. I'm telling you the fact. We need to blame ourselves. Why? This man, people told us, Ford told us about this man. This man it doesn't have like a mercy for human beings. How, when you were born, we told you that the body you are born, you are sending us to a dish. You didn't mind us. He said minorities don't read. They don't read. Now see where you send us, the mess you send us to. Now, what can we do? Very soon, ECG, they will take it. They will take it. Are you the one who built it? And I also want to say about Kaswa Road. Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Kaswa, yes. That, before we read Tobutuno, the mess is too much. Okay. When will they do that data and we'll get ourselves free?
All right.
Why?
Point well made. Thank you so much. Good morning.
Johnny, good morning.
Hello.
Johnny, good morning.
Morning, bro. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
I'm greater than Accra. Talk to me.
Okay, Johnny, there are two things here. You know, you earlier on said that the Teshi roads are the mess and the people are on demonstration and stuff.
Yeah.
Johnny, our politicians behave like they're stupid. Sorry for my French this morning. You're constructing a highway from Junction Mall, that's Nongwa barrier, right? All the way down to Kofi Annan and beyond. Common sense tells you that if the access roads on the side definitely are going to be busy because the major roads are blocked. So it's a rocket science.
Yeah.
It's a rocket science. It's just that sometimes we're too progressive. I think they're just too progressive. Because my 6-year-old son will ask why the lot of cars passing. I say because, okay, the ABC. It's just simple and basic. So if you finish the major road, what it means is that the bypass access road that the people are using is definitely going to be in a mess. Because then you see articulated trucks passing through those routes every single time.
That's true, actually. That's true.
We're just sick and tired of these people. We're sick and tired.
Bro.
Everybody's gradually getting frustrated. And you see, as a people, when people who know what to do become frustrated or quiet, we should be careful in this country because one day, just one day, will be bad for all of us. Because we have nothing to lose.
Okay.
Then when COVID came, if you have your Range Rover, if you have your Discovery, if you have your chopper in your house, you parked it. If you have these things in your house, you parked it. Why are politicians thinking that we're stupid people? Why are they thinking we're stupid? And then you have some people who I don't know the stomach direction or stomach what, and then they decide that let's follow blindly. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Then we are all enemies in this country. And until we sit up to think that, look, let's be constructive with each other. We will do every day, and just one day, then march it down. Just one day, we might not hear good news.
May we not.
Have a nice morning. Good morning.
Thank you, my brother. Grateful. There's a lot of passion and energy there. Yeah, but he's right. Yeah, he's very right.
Talking about the accidents, there's something that we should avert our minds to. We keep talking about not drinking and driving.
Right.
But there's something that we haven't spoken about. Stop doing drugs and driving.
Yeah, they do it.
And something that we haven't spoken about at all.
All the tramadol and
see somebody drinking. But the things that they are taking, you know, when we are 37, they
concentrated.
They
said that they take stuff. Yeah,
they take tablets.
Yeah,
so it's something that as a media
we will have to take it up.
Yes,
you know. But the last caller really, it takes some boxes for me. Yeah. Very passionate about it. That's our show for today. We'll go and pave way